week from this Split Rock week in Lexington in Kentucky. So a fantastic lineup of horses and riders. Competition. Charlotte Jacobs is going to be first out of the starting gate, a rider who is very on at the moment. Recently won a 4-star Grand Prix up in Canada. She then is followed by quite the international list of riders, riders from, of course, the USA, but also from Spain, from Colombia, Guatemala there as well. Other riders very much on form to keep an eye out are the likes of Ashley Vogel there. Moving down our list, the likes of Molly Ash Corley as well, another rider who is quite the experienced rider in the 5-star field. Jay O'Mara, another rider who's had some great results of recent times. Again, going through quite the international list, Juan Ortiz is going to be 19th into the ring, 20th in Charlotte in at the front. Juan, of course, another very experienced 5-star competitor with a great list of horses in his string. He rides Catch the Dark Z in today's. Could be a really interesting one to keep an eye on as well. But of course, today we have this 2-phase competition for you. And so in the second phase, it will certainly be about speed. Further down, another ride coming, as well as Ali Leopold Moreno. They both have their second rides. A representative for Canada comes forward in the form of Sarah Tyndale, riding Kino and Ashley Bogle there. Again, do Tho, very much a pair to keep an eye on. That's the former ride of Shane Sweetnam. Lorcan Gallagher, another rider who is against the clock with Copycat today. Another one to keep on list as a potential strong competitor in today's competition. So, of course, they need to keep all of the fences up, but it will be then down to time in the second phase of this competition. A tough course that has been set by the team led by Anderson Lima in this quite interesting designed ring, oval shape here in Kentucky. Continuing down our list then, Lorcan's Nicholas Gamba of Colombia, another one certainly to pick out in this list with NKH Sky Dancer, assistant horse there as well. We then go to a couple of other second rides for the like Osman and Francisco Goyaga Mole. And that will round up on our start list here this afternoon. As I say, the course design team is led by Anderson Lima and he is assisted by William Robertson and Mauricio Garcia. That's the course that you see in front of you, the footing just being checked here. Absolutely perfect for this first FEI competition of the week. To keep you up to date with winnings of this competition, we're likely to bring competitors before we then have a break. And in terms of the time of the course, we have 41 seconds as our time allowed for phase 1. That's going to cover fences 1 to 6. That contains 7 jumping efforts, as fence 6 is our combination. So that's where the first phase of the competition will end. We'll then move to the jump immediately. Of course, I'm sure many of you are familiar with this 2-phase style of competition. Fences 7 to 12 will be phase 2, and that is where they'll be really going the clock. They will be going absolutely foot to the floor in an attempt to claim the lion's share of today's prize money. The time allowed for that second half of the course will be 50 seconds, but I'm sure we will not see need to use that time. What a slightly overcast day in Kentucky, and a gentle breeze as well. Ideal conditions, of course, for show jumping. Height of these fences, if you are interested in that, is 1 meter. And this is the first of quite an exciting weekend of international competition. Each afternoon, we will bring you the very best competitors from this split rock jumping tour in Kentucky. And they will be kicking off each afternoon, culminating in the Grand Prix, which will take place on Sunday afternoon. And the Grand Prix is, of course, presented by Lugano Diamonds and has $100,000 in the prize pot. So this is a fantastic opportunity for the riders to really get a feel for the ring, let their horses have a look at this atmosphere and this environment, get to grips with the footing, grips with the shape arena, and of course with their competition as well, before they then aim for that feature 2-star 100 Lugano Grand Prix presented by Hagyard. Charlotte Jacobs, then, the rider that we were talking about earlier on, she is going to be first into the ring with Instrumental. She has had an incredible run of form in the last couple of ping up in Vancouver at Thunderbird Show Park. She was the winner of the 4-star Grand Prix there with her horse Rincula. Such a consistent her. She was also part of the winning team for the Trailblazers at the Major League show jumping leg there as well. She's had strong performances in plenty of top level competitions recently. Instrumental, though, is a 9-year-old mare who is Swedish bred. And on the dam side has breeding going back to VDL in Doctorow. Sadly, take down the horse on the front pole. Charlotte took on this ride at the end of last year, and this was a former ride of Ireland's Shane Breen. So we are into the second phase now. Well, skips fairly easily around this course. Instrumental, this talented 9-year-old just gets a little stuck at the split rock oxer there at the pass. It's 12 fences in total, and over she comes over that final fence as well. So her score across the 2 phases will be 12. One fence down in the phase 1. But some good jumping in the second phase. Unfortunately, though, she will score off. Well, we move on now to Francisco Goyaga Molay with Honor de Vinkova. Another relatively young horse. This one is a 10-year-old mare. Francisco ranks 273rd in the Longines jumping world rankings. Comes now to fence 4, this very eye-catching pink fence for the run down to the Horseflight Oxer at 5. Now he makes this left-handed curve to the at 6, but looks like Francisco opts to retire in today's competition. Takes the opportunity to show Onatella van der Vinkover around the arena a little bit, but he's going to save that one for another. Moving on now back. No. Is going to be Raleigh Hyler with Lennox van der Bishop. Raleigh ranks 100 in the FEI jumping under 25 ranking. That takes consistency to score highly, as this under 25 ranking is just so competitive. Lennox van der Bishop showing the scopes to there. He's a 13-year-old gelding and was a partner for Sophie Hinners in the past, but has been with Raleigh for a little under 2 years now. Well, now this right-handed curve takes her to the second double combination on course. This orange-coloured 9A and B manages that really well. For another smooth turn through the ring. It's 10 and upright in the middle there. Fences remain then. 11, this split rock jumping tour Oxer before a left-handed curve to 12 to finish. Well, Ali Leopold Moreno comes up next, riding Cedric. At the moment, the best combination that we have is Raleigh Hyler with Lennox van der Bishop double clear, and the second phase time is 44:29. Down the line from that pink plank to our horseflight fence. Sadly, though, gets a little pacey coming to the fence. So it's 4 to add in phase 1. Well, Ali Leopold Moreno opts to retire in phase 2 there. Still, Raleigh Hyler leads the way with the double clear, with the 13-year-old gelding Lennox van der Bishop. Ashley Bogle, one of our competitors with 2 rides in today's competition. And Madiba AGZ is the ride. Ashley is an extremely consistent young rider. She's 37th in jumping under 25 rankings, and she ranks just outside the top 300 in the Longines World Rankings as well. Former championships coming in 2021 for her. Nicely down to the third fence. Well, again, comes a little bit quick on the pace and also gets a little deep part of our double combinations. Down that comes phase one for Ashley Vogel with Madiba, this grey gelding. Her last competition with this horse was in September of last year. Once again, has a little problem coming into the double. But she took this horse over in Europe last summer as well. Well, nicely over the final fence for Ashley Vogel, and it's 12 in total, 4 in one, and 8 in round 2. Gives a score of 12, but she is a little quicker than Charlotte Jacobs, and so Ashley Vogel slots into second place. Leading the way is Raleigh Hyler with that double clear, and Lennox van der Bishop. So next up, once again for the USA, Solio Miller with Dunavira Balu. Just a little discussion coming into the plank, but gets away with it. Gets quite deep into a lot of these fences. Dunavira Balu still jumping well. This is this horse's first FEI competition as well. He's a 9-year-old gelding and a little bit opinionated here. At a couple of the fences. She rides more strongly then to the split rock box. In a time of 0.26. Means that with that double clear, Kelly Solio Miller then steams into the top of the leaderboard. She's more than 4 seconds faster than Raleigh Hyler, and she's to second place. Kelly Solio Miller, your leader now, and a second phase time to beat of 46 seconds. Well, now to Luquen Arenas Sarabia. Luquen represents and Has also competed in plenty of the young category in recent years. Cantasano is her ride. He's a 10-year-old stallion. And she hasn't competed this horse too extensively in the international classes. Had a down in Wellington earlier on this year. Sadly, another rider falling foul. They're just coming a bit pacey off the turn and getting quite deep into the front fence, and it's tending to go down with the front rail. Great jump over that split rock oxer, and just manages to change the leg back for the final fence. The time is going to be 44.97. Close to the time of rider, but that puts, with the early pole down in phase one, Luquen Arenia Sareva into third place. So let's go to the USA once again now then, to Kaylin Leahy with Zarkava. Kaylin is off a very quick start here already, very speedily over the first fence. The FP under 25 ranking. Has been competing her horse, the Grey Man, extensively in the parts of this year. She's had the horse fight boxer down there with this 16-year-old. And again, the in Sarasota in March of last year in the international competitions. But since then been going really successfully at the national level. Now comes back to contest the FEI competitions. And she's good to the last, but it is not going to be enough to challenge our lead. It's it's a total of 12 for Kaylin Leahy, 4 added to the 8 from round 1, and so there's a total score of 12. Time was great though, the time being 38.70 for the second. Well, our next competitor represents Colombia, and it's Nicolas Gamboa. Nicolas is 18th in the FEI jumping under 25 ranking. Fantastic ranking for him. Competed at games last year with this horse, NK8. He's contested some of the World Cups in recent years as well. Placed 10th in Puebla in January, 2nd in Fort Worth back in December, 6th in Sacramento, and more excellent placings for them in recent months. Certainly a pair to have your eye on for them as well. Solid to the penultimate fence. That's jumping well generally. And very quick to the final fence, but it does stay in the cups, so it's double clear. Scab K. Mr. Darcy. That's a combination to have on your radar for the Grand Prix on Sunday. Double clear and a fantastic time of 37.14, more than 3 seconds off the time of Kelly Solier Miller. Nicolas Gamboa is your new leader. Some young talent absolutely coming to the fore in today's competition. We will, though, go back to the USA once again, then to Katie Abramson. Katie jumped here in Kentucky back in May with her S Outlaw. That's the horse with whom she contested the World Cup in Ocala as well. Though in competition, she's a 16-year-old and has been a fairly long-term partner for Katie. Her most recent results was third in a 2-star Grand Prix at Tryon back in June of last year. So again, a bit of a break from the international world. She's safely clear through phase 1. Time to beat for phase 2 is 37.14. She might not be far away from that here, just under now to get home. Again, has a good look at the split rock oxer. What an eye-catching fence. Well, comes home in a time of 40. Good, but unfortunately, a fence down is going to put Katie Abramson into 4th place. She's the fastest of our 4 faulters. Of course, we are really looking at the faults in time from phase 2. So we're looking for clear in phase 1, and then faults and time from phase 2 in the placings. Next up is going to be Camille Markussen. Camille rides Kinkeen Lof. Again, a combination who are really stepping up now to this higher level of competition. Kinkeen Lof is a 10-year-old Irish-bred gelding. Mostly established a little further down, just in international classes at this height. And fairly economical with So it is going to just be the one pole down in phase 2 for Camille Markussen. The time is 4:36. She slots into 5th place, so a little slower than Katie Abramson. And we have 3 double clears for you at the top leaderboard. Nicolas Gamboa still leads the way with NKH Mr. That onwards then to Kristen Smith with Fantast Van Het Vinkenhoff. fantastic. Kristen placed 23rd with this horse in a two-star Grand Prix. That was their most recent competition in Tryon. But they're a pretty established pair. The average faults at this height of fences is 3.1. They're clear a third of the time, so going well for them here. Starting to they are working on the 4 now. Just needs to keep a little bit more of a regular rhythm. Just a little around these turns. Well, just the one fence left for Kristen Smith and Fantast Van Het Vinkenhoff. And comes home with a little bit to add for time. Well, it's going to be 4 in phase 1, 7 in phase 2 for Kristen Smith with Fantast Van Het Vinkenhoff. That's going to put them into 7th place as it stands. Remember, the time allowed in phase 1 is 41 seconds. Time allowed in phase 2 is 50 seconds. Let's go to Maria Costa then now. Maria rides Iceman BSFN. Rides for the USA. This 11-year-old by Milo Cup. Really good jumping breeding. Quite appropriately named with this colouring. Had some good results down in Florida, the recent season there. They've also jumped really well here in Lexington in the past as well. Course clear now in round 1, but we just to go for Maria Costa in this second phase. Plenty of scope from Iceman. And safely over the final fence as well. It's another double clear. 4 double clears now on the board. Maria Costa is the latest. She will be the slowest with that time of 41.5, and so she slots into 4th place. She is 12 off the pace of Nicholas Gamboa, who leads the way today. But we do have a fair few still. Nicholas Gamboa, the best of them so far. 40 on our list. Well, Molly Ash Corley is riding Jazara Sina. She's a 10-year-old mare and a former ride of Ishmael Garcia Rock, who won 2 classes first international competition with this horse. Certainly keeps her turns pretty close to the fences, not wasting any time. Well, Molly Ash fully comes home with another double clear hour, and 40.78 is going to be the time, just a fraction behind the time of Kelly Solier Miller. That's enough for third place at the moment.
Goodbye. Next to join us is USA's Nicole Katie Road.
Well, Nicole Lustan is having a good look at the split rock fence there. Nicole's right afternoon, me du Bosquetiao, who's a 10-year-old stallion. Again, not necessarily examination. This FEI rank of classes sadly is not loving the look of our pink plank fence there. It's an eye-catching fence. And it's me, du Bosquetiao. Looks like Nicole feels that he may be having a look at the water as well next. Oh, what a pity. Well, sadly, 2 refusals will incur elimination for Nicole Lushtan and It's Me du Bosquetiao. What a pity. Talented pair, former top 5 from here in Kentucky. Just not their day today, unfortunately. Well, moving swiftly on then to TJ O'Mara. TJ again has been spending the early part of the year down in WEF. Rides Honor van der Helle this afternoon. She is another 10-year-old mare. He'd be looking for his first top 10 placing in an international competition. Well, looks like J. O'Mara opts to retire in today's competition with Honor van, saving the horse for the rest of the week. Well, next up, we take you to the final American competitor in this first half of the class. This is Charlie Jane, riding Millfield. One of the youngest horses in the field. This is an 8-year-old horse. And this is Charlie's first FEI competition with, just 8 years old, by Canaan. Former ride of Laura Robinson, excuse me, of Great Britain. Who got a horse in the young horse competitions successes, including 2 wins. Very quick account. This is really a partnership that's starting to develop now. Really stepping for that very talented 8-year-old. Through the double, showing plenty of scope. Be interesting to see how they now tackle the split rock oxer. Yeah, again, plenty of air over that fence. Clear to the last as well, so it's just going to be one pole in the second phase for Charlie and Millfield Kangaroo, the 8-year-old ride. Clear phase 1, phase 2. Time there is 5:09, so not quite going to challenge the leading bank of riders. As we move on to Argentina's Ramiro Quintana. Ramiro is a former Olympic Games rider, a rider from the 2016 Olympics in Rio. Also competed at the World Equestrian Games in Tryon in 2018 and the Pan American Games in Toronto in 2015. They're achieving team silver. Langobardo BF ride here today. This hasn't been a ride for Ramiro for very long. This horse was with Sophia Ahern up to the Hampton Classic show last year before Ramiro took on the ride. Also previously a ride Morsinkov of Belgium. Two left to jump for Ramiro Quintana, not going to challenge the time of Nicolas Campos, but I think a double clear here would be a great result, and indeed that is what they achieve. So goes into a double clear and a phase 2 time of 43.78 for Ramiro Quintana and Langobardo. Well, we're on to the first of our second rides now. Necessarily going to be all second rides from here on, but it's a second ride for Francisco Goyoaga More, Livingstone Van Het Pegashoff. Francisco not sitting in our top 5, with the other ride being of course. Riding, of course, for Spain. Livingstone is a 13-year-old gelding who until very recently, Sam Hutton of Great Britain, top 5-star competitor, also going to be a new face on the Major League show jumping teams. Also of Omar Karevli, who has had wins with this horse and competed up to the 5-star level. Francisco Goyaga Mole really got a foot to the floor here, but we do have a fence down. 28.94 is in phase one is really going some. Sadly, we have one down in phase two now as well. Once again, it's the double combine, that upright coming into the combination. Catch out plenty of riders. But they're a very quick combination. I would keep your eye on them for later in the week. And comes home in a time of 38.2. 4 in phase one, 4 in phase two, gives them a score of 8 though. And that will go into 11th, but great on the time. So keep an eye out for that as the week progresses. There's plenty of different competitions to bring you.
And this is Starting to see 13-year-olds show.
But across the clock, Francisco Mole may be one to. Well, Juan Ortiz is the next rider in, and the final rider before break. His ride is Catch the Dark Z. Juan, a two-time Pan American Games rider. And Catch the Dark was his ride for the Pan Am Games last year. And a former World Equestrian Games rider as well. Got a great string of horses to the top level. And Catch the Dark is one with whom he's becoming more and more consistent since taking on the ride from Lauren Fisher. As I say, one for the Pan Am Games last year. I've actually had 5 rounds at the meter 60 level. At this height they average 4 faults, so this is a really good result so far. They won't be challenging our but it's looking good for the clear. And he gets there. It's a double clear for Juan Ortiz and Catch the Dark. Second phase time of 43.35. That will have them in 4th place as it stands. Still leading the way is Nicolas Gamboa with NKH Mr. Darcy. Double clear and a second phase time of 37.4. Kelly Solio Miller then is in 2nd place, and your top 3 is rounded out at the moment by Molly Ash Corley. Well, as you can see, the arena party are just moving our poles ready for the drag race. So we'll take a short break now, and we'll be back in just a few moments' time with the second half of this 2-phase opening FEI competition.
Equestrian Services International, your
C. Jarvis Insurance is the leading international equine insurance agency in the world. Our team of professionals is here to assist you 24/7, and we offer worldwide coverage for all aspects of equine insurance. We are owned and operated by a family of horsemen, so you can rest assured that we have a pulse on the industry and will look out for you every step of the way.
Ride Equisafe is proud to be your equestrian safety destination, carrying the largest supply of equestrian safety products in all of North America, including body protectors, air vests, helmets, safety stirrups, and wearable tech. We have so many options to keep you safe and stylish in the saddle, from brands including Horsepilot, Free Jump, Dada Sport, Penelope, Cavalleria Toscana, and so many other fabulous options. Come visit us to check out everything we have for you.
Special horses deserve special care. Hagyard Equine Medical Institute provides a variety of specialty services: acupuncture, ophthalmology, chiropractic, imaging, and more. Also, these remarkable athletes can perform at their peak in noteworthy events like this. Hagyard Equine Medical Institute. Because special performances don't happen without special care.
At Horseflight, we have carefully put together a team of professionals to be there for our horses and clients. We are horsemen and horsewomen first, so it's easy for us to treat your horse like our own.
We take pride in providing the best customer service in the industry.
Once you get to know our team,
you'll see that it makes a difference.
When you're ready to get your horse home, visit us at horseflight.com.
Horses have taken me all over the world. Obviously, I started out in Australia, come to America, and I've been lucky enough to represent America at 3 Olympic Games. At about 35, joint pain was really starting to affect my career. I came across Lubricin HA. After about a week of taking Lubricin, my body was already feeling better. Elite athletes require elite care. I feel like Lubricin provides that for me and my team.
Hi, my name is Hannah Kleinditz, and I'm the owner and founder of Equestrian Closet.
We provide an online marketplace designed for equestrians to buy, sell, and share the equestrian lifestyle. Whether you are looking for a gently used show coat or looking to purge your closet and start new, Equestrian Closet is here for you.
Hi, I'm Javin Dahlman. I'm the founder of Dahlman Jump Co. At Dahlman Jump Co., creativity is our specialty. We can create custom jumps for any occasion, all the FEI spec. We also have a variety of jumps that are in stock at Dahlman Jump Co. You can come and pick them up, you can have them delivered. The best part about building jumps, honestly, is working with customers and watching their visions come to life, like our brand new 3D jumps. Let Dahlman Jump Co. make your jumps for home or the horse show. We're proud to be the official jump company of U.S. Equestrian.
I was born in 1930 and have seen a lot of changes in my time. Service to the land, the people, that hasn't changed. We've been fortunate that we have fed 15 of the last 25 Derby winners and 2 Triple Crown winners. Resilient, strong-willed, uncompromising when it comes to quality. After all we have to sell is service.
Hagyard Equine Medical Institute, we're there for you through every phase. With unmatched knowledge and expertise that keeps champions performing at their peak every step of the way. Because we're more than veterinarians. We're riders and owners, just like you. And that's why we've been trusted with your most prized possessions for over 145 years. We're Hagyard Equine Medical Institute.
Good afternoon and welcome back to this split rock jumping tour from Lexington in Kentucky. It's been a great competition so far already this afternoon in this two-phase special class. So what does two-phase special mean? Well, we have our course separated into two phases. Phase 1 ends after 6A and B, the double combination, the first of our doubles, and Phase 2 then Phase 2 then continues on to after fence 12. And usually in a two-phase competition, you would be required to jump clear in Phase 1 in order to progress to Phase 2. Here, though, this is a little bit different. You can progress through 2, but we will need a clear in Phase 1 to consider the scores in Phase 2. So we're really looking at the clears, and then the placings are decided by the faults and time in Phase 2. At the moment, we have 4 double clears of the tree. Nicholas Gamboa is the fastest of them so far, with NKH Mr. Darcy very much a combination iron for the rest of the week. Of course, we're building up to that $100,000 Grand Prix on Sunday afternoon with fantastic international action through the week. So Nicholas Gamboa leads the way. Kelly Solier Miller is in second place with Dunavira Balu. Ash Cawley is in third with Jazara Sina. The time to beat in Phase 2 as it stands is 30.4. We haven't seen many riders go faster than that, and certainly no clears faster, and that's the time of Nicholas. Stella Wasserman is up next, riding Kurlanta. Kurlanta is a 9-year-old Dutch-bred horse. And this mare was with Willem Greve of the Netherlands, who developed this horse in the young horse categories. And up to the, really up to the metre 40, metre 45 height. Stella took this horse to North last month. Jumped in the 3- and 4-star competitions there. So looks like Stella is potentially opting to retire here in today's competition. Yes, Stella and Kurlanta retire at this early stage. Onwards to our Irish representative today then. This is Lorcan with Copycat. Lorcan competing in the US and Canada for some time now. And Copycat, very much his top ride. Did 2 World Cup legs in the previous few runnings of the series with Copycat. Jumped here in Lexington back in November. Also jumped at Toronto at the Royal there, placing 19th. Most recently, this pair placed 7th in the 3-star Grand Prix here in Lexington last month. So we come now down to fence 6A and B, as we were talking about earlier. Now phase 2 starts. You see into there. So the 33.7 is Lorcan's time in phase 1. Pretty quick in phase 1, but it's all about the faults and times too. That's what's crucial here. It's a pretty consistent jumping combination. As you can see from our timer, they're a little bit tight to the leading time. Well, the total score is going to be 6 in phase 2, picking up to 12 for Lorcan Gallagher. The time allowed for each of the phases here is 41 seconds and 50 seconds in phase 2. So, excuse me, it's just time penalties only for Lorcan Gallagher and Copycat. Going to finish a little way down our order. Ali Leopold Moreno comes next. Second ride for Ali, riding Flirt de Liam. Again, not the most experienced in the FEI competitions. She just looked like she was just locking a little bit onto a different fence, turning into that. Ali did well to get that control back. And jumps well through the double. The hand though, she is just going to compete in the first phase, by the looks of it. It's a fast time in phase 1 as well. So Ali Leopold Moreno opts to retire in phase 2. Ali highlighter, their second ride as well, is Linara. Well, Raleigh heading off into phase 1 with this 9-year-old. Raleigh, if you remember, ranks 137 in the FEI jumping under 25 ranking, and again, certainly one to watch for the rest of the week. This horse has had some pretty impressive competitions on its record, right the way up to the 5-star level. Jumped in Abu Dhabi at the League of Nations show, but this horse has also jumped in the 5-star club, including a podium finish at the London International Horse Show in December of last year. Also competed for another podium finish in January with Reeling, first international show with Rally, and one down here in this two-phase class. The time is 49. One pole down in phase 2 is going to see them in 12th place as it stands. Nicolas Gamboa still leads the way. Now going on then to our Mexican representatives, Alejandro Leonardo with Con Cha-Cha PS. Our first representative co-but, as we were saying earlier, a great international lineup here in attendance in Lexington. While turning a circle, Alejandro Leonardo will just wait to see what he chooses to do with Con Cha-Cha. Yeah, it takes a circle just to rebalance for the plank. Has been a fairly problematic fence for all of our competitors. There's going to be 13 in, of course, with the time incurred there as well as the one pole down. This horse was further back in its career, competed by Bliss Hears, of course, of the USA, and has jumped for a couple of top 10 with Alejandro down at Weth. They're not going to for the win here this afternoon. So the score is going to be 13 in total, 13 in phase. Nothing to add in phase 2, but that's going to put them into 19th place. Our next competitor is riding for the USA. It's Olivia Cleaver with Interactive Mortgage Cajano. Interactive Mortgage Cajano is this former ride of Nicolas Gamboa, who of course leads the way in today's competition. He's won 2-star Grand Prix with this horse down in Monterrey in Mexico. Anna Duff then had the ride for some time. This horse right to the 5-star level. Anna Duff riding for Ireland. Now Olivia Cleaver in the saddle. Really nicely through phase 1. too far away, but she's going a little steadier now into this final line, and the time will be 43.64. But it is double clear and Interactive Mortgage Queijano. First FEI start for them as a combination, but of course Queijano an experienced horse. Goes into So let's turn now to Sarah Tyndale, representing Canada. Sarah is on the FEI jumping under 25 rankings, part of that elite list, on that ranking list. Kino is her 16-year-old stallion. She has partnered for some time now to some really good results. A couple of top 10s in recent months at WEF in an under 25 team competition. She also travelled over to Europe to compete at the Youth Nations Cup final. That's a seriously prestigious competition. Time in the first phase of 31.88. Well, one down in phase one, Sarah Tyndale and Kino. Clear in phase two. The time, though, is 46.62. So that slots into 13th. Remember, of course, there is plenty of action to bring you for the rest of the week as well. We have national competitions every day of the week. Tomorrow we'll see the $35,000 welcome class. Saturday we have the National Grand Prix. As well as the two-star speed class and then the two-star Grand Prix on Sunday. Well, is bringing forward a second ride here. With a horse that I'm sure many of you will recognise. It is Birdie Dutho. Coming swiftly round to the pink plank. Birdie Dutho, 13 years old. And of course, super experienced under the saddle of Shane Sweetnam to our level. But Ashley's had some great results with this horse in the past almost 18 months. Also been competed by Shane a little bit. Ashley's jumped this horse on the Major League Show Jumping team competitions. Most been contesting the two-star classes down at WEF. To plenty of top 10 results. Well, we're now working on a relatively slow time, but it is going to be double clear for Ashley Vogel and Birdie Dutho. 8th place for them at the time in phase 28.83. Let's go to Lauren Breach, AK. Riding for the USA. Just their second FEI show together. They competed in Tryon last month to place just outside the top 30 in the two-star Grand Prix. But a relatively new ride. This was with Anna Beth Ate and Jeremy Sweetenham prior to that. Gets a really good time in phase 1 of 32.31. Well, Lauren Breach comes home with 1 down in phase 2. Good time of 41.18. Into the top 10. So back to Guatemala now. This is now Valentina Arenas Sarevia. Riding Lacido, who's by Lacalido, German-bred horse. We had Arenas Sarevia earlier on. Valentinas is just outside the top 250 in the FEI jumping under 25 ranking. Former rider at the North American Youth Championships in the children's division and the juniors as well. He's also competed at the Central American and Caribbean Games in the past. But more recently, has been competing at WEF. Looks now to the penultimate fence. She's pretty quick here, takes a flyer at the Split Rock Oxer. She's not going to be far away at all on the time. Ooh, 37.79.65 of a second off the pace of Nicolas Gamboa. But look at that flyer to the penultimate fence for Valentina Arenas Sarevia. She goes into second place at double clear at a time of 37.79. Well, it's back now to Luquina Arabia. Just had Valentina. Go to Luquen now with Una Barreta. The former rider from the North American Junior Championships. Una Barreta, 13, Westphalian horse. It's been ridden by both Valentina and Luquenis Sarevia in the past. fact, this horse was Valentina's ride for the North American Youth Championships. Duquesne just had 2 down in the 2-star Grand Prix at WEF that they contested most recently. Well, it's 1 down for Luquen Arenas Sarevia. 1 down in phase 1, but clear in phase 2 and a time of 70. There goes that fence. Some great jumping though throughout phase 2. Not going to challenge. Remember, your leading 3 are now Nicolas Gamboa, followed by Valentina Arenas Sarevia, and then Kelly Solia-Miller. Time to beat in phase 2 is still 37.14. As we move swiftly to Matt Seifert. Riding. Well, ideally the win, but riding for the USA, of course. Paddington is 9-year-old by Canaan. Some great breeding on some of our competitors today. Last month, 4th in the 2-star Grand Prix in Tryon. Oh, again, bit pacey coming into the double. They're running a little downhill there as well. And at the back, hooves take down the front pole. At that very same show in Tryon, this pair were double clear in the... Sadly not going their way today, though. A bit of a miscommunication through the second double. Paddington and Matt both safely up and on their feet, but sadly it will be elimination for that latest combination. Well, we just wait for the to be rebuilt then, and good to see Matt Seifert and Paddington safely up and on their feet. Both, I'm sure, will be back for another day. Sadly, it will be elimination though. And Nicolas Gamboa still leads the way. NKH, Mr. Darcy, that leading for him. Well, it's your leading ride coming here with a second ride. Nicolas Gamboa. So your leading rider, of course, is Nicolas Gamboa H. Mr. Darcy. NKH Sky Dancer is his second ride. Nicolas, of course, this 18th ranked rider, jumping under 25 ranking. His own time to beat is 37.14. Now he brings forward this 9-year-old gelding in its first FEI competition. Well, into the second phase now, clear in phase one with a great time of 31.04. Nicolas Gamboa, does he want to knock himself off with his second ride? I have no doubt, as a super competitive rider, he'll want to be there or thereabouts, but sadly gets a bit too deep and stands off the split rock oxer, so it comes down, and the time 2:37, wastes a bit of time at that fence as well. Goes into 13th place with that one pole down. So first place and 13th place for Nicolas Gamboa. Another second ride now then, this time for Lorcan Gallagher. Lorcan, of course, has this top ride copycat in the field today. That's the horse he's already competed with. However, Hunter's Conlipso is the 16-year-old gelding that he contests this competition with now. Again, long-term partner, also a partner for Shane Sweetnam on occasion. Also a horse who's had a bit of time off from the international field. Last competition with Toronto in November. Well, Lorcan Gallagher in phase one, 32.73. Looks like we're going to retire here in phase two. Yes, so Lorcan Gallagher with Hunter's Con 2 is retiring in our second phase. 1, 2, 3, still Nicolas Gamboa, Valentina Arabia, and Kali Solumira. Well, it's Kaden Leahy once again, this time with the Grey Man, this top ride for Kaden. Grey Man, now 16 years old, and certainly showing no signs of slowing down. They won their most recent competition, which was down in Akala, 4-star speed class. She's also had second places earlier this year. Podium finishes really in their recent form. Ride of Jonathan McRae, as well as Isabel Banks, Sweden, Mattis van Asten, and various other competitors. 37.14 is the time to beat. She's not quite going to get there. But she is going to come home with a lovely double clear. Not to add at all for Kaylin, Leahy and the Grey Man, maintaining their consistency. That drops them to 5th place. Better result for Kaylin. We have 5 still to come. They've got Ascamba still leading the way. The is whether anybody can knock him off the top spot. He has laid down a tough task with that time of 1-4. We'll turn to Ramiro Quintana now with Cristallia de Ravel. Ramiro, you will remember this Olympic Games rider from Queen in Rio, former World Equestrian Games and Pan Am Games rider, of course, as well. Cristallia de Ravel is a 12-year-old French-bred mare, former rider of Thibaut Spitz. Not one that Ramiro has competed to extent, just at WEF this year. First phase time for Ramiro, 33:30. Just sometimes gives you a little bit of an indication of the potential speed. Of course, we don't really count that time in one, but certainly can give you an indication. Over the final fence then, and a score of 4 in phase 2. 5:36 on the clock, put Ramiro into 19th place. Juan Ortiz comes forward with a second ride now. He rides Vintage. Vintage, of course, this very well-bred horse, bred in Germany. Of course, represents Venezuela. Vintage is another of these huge horses that Juan often rides. Big striding, big horses. They placed 13th in the two-star Grand Prix at Tryon last month. Just picking up penalties there. No fences to add. But he's had plenty of top 10 placings right to the top of this horse. Gets really deep into the fence there, but Vintage still picks up for him. Now stands awful, but this horse's big stride means that they still can get to the back rails. Good opportunity for this horse to get to grips with this arena because he's not really the easiest of rides. Well, comes home with a great time of 39.73, and that's what I mean. He's so deceptive. They don't look like they're going an enormous speed, but it's that stride, that ground cover. And Juan Ortiz suddenly finds himself free with Vintage. 39.73 on the clock, and a double clear has him on the podium with 3 riders to come. for Stella Wasserman is 202nd in the under-25 world rank. She's a 3-time North American Youth Championship competitor, 2-time silver medalist from those championships. She's been competing at Devon Horse Show last week. Placed 5th in a speed class with Camille Langwater. Her ride today, though, is Princess Dalu H. Princess is a 9-year-old. And this is the first FEI for this pair. Horse was with a Belgian competitor, Julie de Pelsmaker. He's developed this horse up through the young horse competition. An established horse to the meter 35 level, actually. So Stella now stepping up to the 140 height. .44.09 is the time on the clock. All clear for Stella Wasserman and her new ride, Princess Dalu H. Puts them into 10th place at the moment. Two riders remain. So Nicolas Gamboa now knows he will be on the podium. Juan Ortiz and Valentina Arenas Sarabia watching these two riders keenly. The second ride now for Francisco Goyoaga Mole. And he rides Ice Zertendale Z. Horse with whom he's finished in the top 10 twice recently. Both here in Lexington and coming last month. Jumped in the Grand Prix Land Rover in Geneva, that under-25 Grand Prix. Finished 12th in the 3-star Grand Prix here a couple of years ago. Could that be a sign of things to come in this week's competitions? Remember the time to beat. 37.14. It's 30.23 in phase 1 on the clock. Reaches a bit through the double, but gets there. Over the split rock fence, 37.14 is the time to beat. He is galloping for the final fence. Francisco Goyoaga Mole outside the time. Oof. 0.2, not even 0.2 of a second, put him into second place. And the Spaniard finishes in 37.32. But it's a and Juan Ortiz is dropped off the podium. Francisco Goyoaga Mole is into second place. Nicolas Gamboa breathes a sigh of relief. That was the closest challenge had in this competition. But still, Nicolas Gamboa's time. Well, we just have one rider still to come then. It's Nicole Luctin with Kupadi. He's the only rider who can knock Gamboa off the top spot. And Kupadi is this 9-year-old gelding a new ride was with an Iraqi rider, Fali al-Dulaimi, up until and also with some Dutch riders prior to that as well. Well, comes home from phase 1, very good time. Will she be able to keep the pace up for phase 2? Oh, the penultimate fence is down. She's a little deep to the Split Rock Oxer, but safely over the finals. The time is 39.87. That would have been good enough for 5th place, actually, but 2 fences down. Is going to put Nicole Lustan into 27th in the end. Going to be a win for Nicholas Gamba with NKH Mr. Darcy, an early leader and a lead that held for the majority of this competition. Here is your leaderboard in this $5,000 2-star 1m40 power and speed class. Double clears all the way down the top 10, but the quickest is Nicholas Gamboa with NKH Mr. Darcy. Not far behind is Francisco Goyaga, Ice Zertendal Z. Valentina Arena Saravia is in 3rd with Lacido. Not far away at a little bit of a gap then down to Juan Ortiz and Vintage in 4th. And 3 American riders then fill out 5th and 7th. Juan Ortiz has 2 in the top 10. Ramiro Quintana with a couple of good rides finishes in 10th place. But a well-deserved win for Nicholas Gamboa, unbeatable with that great time on 1-4 in the 2nd phase. Well, as we were saying, the action, of course, does not stop there. And following on from today's competition, we will bring you the 2-star $35,000 welcome class. The fences of a meter in height. Saturday sees us bring you the 2-star speed class, as well as the $20,000 National Grand Prix as well. Meanwhile, on Sunday, it's the highlights of the international competitions for the week. $100,000 Lugano 2-star meter 45 Grand Prix presented by Hagyard. Currently a list of 33 in that competition. And both of these of Juan Ortiz, they're both in the list for the 2-star Grand Prix as well. Plenty of our competitors from today are on the starting list for that 2-star Grand Prix. Keep up to date, though, with all of the timings and action, of course, on the Split Rock social channels. But it's a very well-deserved for Nicholas Gamboa and NKH Mr. Darcy. Heading swiftly onto the podium. Up he goes into the top spot with Francisco Goya win the navy jacket there, taking 2nd place. Valentina Arena Saravia is in 3rd place. So it's a win for Colombia, 2nd for Spain, and 3rd for Guatemala. Well, a great win for Nicolas Gamboa, second for Francisco Goyo-Agamole, third for Valentino. But is that a sign of things to come for the week? We will be bringing you all of the action live from the biggest national classes of the week. And for these international classes, I will be taking you through all of the action from the Lugano Diamond Split Rock Jumping Tour from Kentucky. Do for the rest of the week. We look forward to bringing you all of the action live. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon and your evening, everyone, and we'll join you again tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1308, Nicholas Gamboa and MK8, Mr. Darcy.
Thanks to everyone for participating today, and thank you, spectators, for being here. We'll start again at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Don't forget, tomorrow afternoon, one of our premier events, it'll be the welcome class here at Split Rock Hunter Jumper 1. Welcome class coming up tomorrow afternoon. Check Split Rock Show Jumping or go to the Split Rock app to look for show times.
The final of this final. We have a